Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Ebuka. I hope you're all doing well and I hope you're all doing fine. Today we will be discussing Big Brother Naija Season 5 Lockdown Edition. We have just completed the 5th week in the house. For those of you that don't know what Big Brother Naija is, 20 people come to a house fighting for 85 million. May the best man win. Awesome. Quick shout out to DSTV for the copyright claim that you put on my video last week. For that very reason, I will not have clips in this video, but I will do my best to describe everything that happened so we could be on the same page. Okay, today, praise God, evicted. No surprise there. But really, who cares? Clearly not you, because you didn't vote for him to stay in the house. He had the least amount of votes, followed by V. Honestly, I was not surprised by the bottom four at all. We had Tricky T again, Wathoni again, V, and Praise. Now, I need to know where Wathoni and Tricky T buy their soap. I need to know the soap in which they use to bathe so that I can have that sort of jazz, that sort of good luck that they have. Because there is something they are doing that's keeping them in the house. Tricky is staying in the house clearly because he's likable and the other housemates want to keep him around. Tranquility. That is a reference from their wager that they lost, no shock there, this week. Tricky is a good addition to the house. You know, he coordinates their wagers, he makes them laugh. He's not a threat. Wathoni, on the other hand, I it really has to be the soap that she's using that's keeping her in the house because there's no logical reason as to why Wathoni is still in the house. I will say, see, I wanted to say that this is the second week of a rubbish eviction, but it's not because Kaisha had the highest of the four last week when she was evicted for that solo eviction. Praise today, however, had the lowest of the bottom four. So it makes sense. It was fair. And he clearly must be a threat, or they're just annoyed by how much he talks. Because I am. Sa Ebuka. Mazi Ebuka. That's the host of the show. Thank you. Thank you so much for shaking tables. Whew, my guy held nothing back. At first, he was shaking tables, and I was like, these are tables that don't need to be shooketh. You can find other things to talk about. He asked Kid, oh, many of the housemates were talking behind your back, saying that you got power drunk. What do you have to say about that? And Kid was like, maybe you should ask those people who said it what they have to say about that. Ibuka didn't ask them, but at least now, Kid has an idea that these people are fake. I mean, he knew it before, but now it's confirmed that they're fake. And then he asked Talani Badge why she didn't want to be on a team with Lucy. And then I expected more from Talani. She was like, oh, I didn't say that. And he's like, no, your exact words were, I didn't want to be on a team with Lucy. So after some probing, then she was like, yeah, I didn't want to be on a team with Lucy. But it was like, babe, I expected you to bring that Chi-Town flavor and be like, yeah, I said it, and what? What? And then the third person he called on was Brighto. Brighto had called Neo fake during the arena games. That's not a lie. That is very much the truth. But Brighto did not own up to it. Ebuka was like, are you being a chicken or are you calling me a liar? And Brighto was like, Ebuka didn't say that. And I'm like, are y'all not adults? Why y'all scared of each other? See, if you are scared of each other, then maybe you shouldn't say things about people that you can't back up. My parents always told me, if you don't care, if you cannot say it in their front, do not say it in their back. If you can't say it in front of their face, do not say it behind their backs. Like that's fake. Duh. So as I've already alluded to, Kid Wire won HOH, head of house, this week. He was actually the only one to finish the game. I really wanted Bright to win. He actually came in second. He did really well, but it's a game of luck. It's not even about strategy or anything like that. It's just luck. Do you have luck? And Kid had luck. I knew he was going to choose Talani Badge as his deputy because he and housewife Erica had already discussed that if he wins, he will choose Talani Badge. And Kid Wire respected that. They have a new rule that this week you get to, well, not just this week, for the rest of the show, you get to have two special guests to come over into the HOH lounge, which is a lot nicer than the dorm rooms that the housemates have to stay in. Mind you, those rooms are nice too, but the head of house room, lounge. It's not even a room, it's a lounge. Is way nicer. And so of course Kid chose Erica and Talani chose Prince. It's common sense. Booze must choose their booze. Speaking of which, Erica, Kid, and Talani all received strikes because they don't follow instructions. And Erica needs to calm down because she's on, is it 2 strikes now? It has to be 2 strikes because 3 strikes and you're out. So they all got strikes for flaunting the rules or whatever that Nigerian English they use is. Basically, they broke the rules. And so Erica, how do we deal with Erica? Because Erica was complaining that Lakon did not come to console her for getting 2 strikes. And I was just like, is it crack? Baby, is it crack? I want to know, I want to understand. Why would Lakon come to console you when you told him that you don't like him like that? When you showed him, like it's not hidden, that you don't like him like that. Why don't you go and ask Kidwire to console you? Why don't you ask any of your girlfriends in the house to console you? Why would you ask the guy who has essentially made the house hard for you to come and console you? Are you not crazy? Because at that point, this is just a matter of, I don't want to be using psychological disorders for people, so I'm not going to call her a narcissist or just like seeking for attention, but like you're being manipulative, darling. That is manipulation. You want to have your cake and eat it too. That is not how life works. I mean, it might work like that for some people, but it can't work like that forever. Okay? Leave him alone. That does not exempt Lakon from correction or Ibawi. Jesus, what's Ibawi? Ciao. Lakon is not exempt from this as well. They're both nuts, okay, in this whole situation. May God settle their matter for them. I honestly thought that Kid Wire was going to do an amazing job. He started off so well. The first day he was deliberating with Talani about what should happen. He was delegating tasks. He was putting each housemate in mind with what could keep them happy. Like he made Lucy head of games. I mean, that's not a real title, but he just knew like how to get each person to be happy. And then everything went downhill. And I was like, Kid, this ain't what we discussed. Like, he had the audacity to tell them, hey, if you don't do well, I'm still going to be in the house next week, which is true. Like, he has immunity as head of house, but that's rude. You can't really say that to people that you want to work. But then again, Kid didn't really care if they worked or not. That was another thing, too. They got very angry about what their task, their wager was asking of them. I mean, it was very simple and clear English, but I will give them a pass, I guess, because although English is the national and the official language of Nigeria, we have to remember that it is not our mother tongue. So maybe and, or, if, but, words like that are confusing because I really don't understand what was so hard for them to create a debate. Create a debate. They did very terrible, in my opinion, on their wager, even though Biggie said that they did a great job. No, they did terrible. And I'm not shocked that they lost. You know what? I feel like Biggie needs to start punishing them and saying, you know, you all will start to eat gari atepa, cassava, and ground nuts. That's what y'all are going to start eating because I think they're very comfortable eating Indomie, so they don't care that they're going to lose their wager. It was bad, but that's all I'm gonna say. They were supposed to debate about love languages. You know, the 5 love languages: quality time, acts of service. Speaking of acts of service, y'all know the 5 love languages, so I don't have to continue that. Let me speak about acts of service. Neo and V, beautiful people. Like they look very good. You know, V is young Naomi Campbell, as I've already told y'all. Neo is drip daddy, fine boy, tall, dark, handsome. You know, has the beard and everything. They are 2 hot-headed people and nobody wants to step down for the other. Now, if they are able to actually understand each other and not be so stubborn, they would be a power couple. So how do I even start this? So last week they fought over Poundo. This week they fought over Semu. And because V is still in the house, next week they will still fight over Eba. I don't understand why they always fighting over food. And it's always after the Saturday night party. And I always want to defend women. I really do. But V is the one who's wrong here. Like, Neil will cook. V, she can't cook. So Neil like cooks, and I guess V's impatient or she wants things done a certain way. And Neil, he's a worry guy. They're very strong headed. He's like, you did crazy, you did mad. No, that's not gonna happen. I'm gonna do it like this. I'm gonna do it like that. V doesn't like it, and it's like Neil actually goes out of his way to do a lot of things for her. It was her birthday this past week. He spent all of his BB Naira to buy her flowers. This week she was on her cycle, and he was getting her meds. He stayed up with her all night to take care of her. Clearly she must not have noticed because she was out of it, but he also doesn't have to tell you. You should just expect that your boo is going to do that for you. And so I believe that Neil's ways of expressing love are quality time, acts of service, whereas for V, that means nothing. V is just like, yeah, I'm tired. I don't want to talk about this anymore. I don't want to talk about this anymore because Lagon was trying to advise her and she just wasn't listening. They're just both hot-headed. They've settled again, as always. They, of course, they have to settle. I mean, Neil looked like he was gonna have a heart attack today when they called V up for eviction. Did I tell you who's in the bottom four? Tricky T, Wathoni, Praise, and V. No surprise there. Okay, good. Glad we got that out of the way. Yo, let's talk about who voted for who. So Talani Badge was the first person to go into the house, not to the house, into the diary room, and she voted for Praise and V. Praise is not a surprise. Everybody's shocked at V. I am not. Here are the three reasons why I believe Talani voted for V. She either voted for V because she knew that all the other housemates were going to save her anyway. She did that with Praise the first week. She believed that everybody was going to save him, and they did. So that's why she just voted him, like to use a vote. She realizes that V is competition for her, which makes sense because the three previous voting cycles, it's either been V or Talani Badge. They switch positions of who gets more votes because they're like always right behind each other. Or three, she realizes that V is a snake and she don't really like her behind. So she's trying to get her out. Those are, she voted for her for one or more of those reasons. Turns out they actually knew each other outside of the house. And I'm like, this is why I say y'all are fake. All y'all are fake in the house. How come the housemates did not know? And then she was, Tani or V, one of them was like, oh, we mentioned it. I'm like, so we, the viewers, we didn't hear that. They, the housemates living with you, they didn't hear that. Why? So we are all deaf. We've all joined our ears together and clog it, Abby, with cotton wool. Liars. Ebuka actually shook more tables. Shook if he shook. And the last table he shook was actually the best table that he shook. He asked V, why were you talking about Erica to Lakon? Like, why did you, to the extent where you had to start casting and binding demons? But my baby gal V from South London ain't scared of nobody. She said it with her chest, like, yes, Lakon is my guy. It's nothing personal to Erica. So I believe that, she has pressed his mumu button this time. I said, V, you know, you are a talkative. You are a gossip. But one thing you're not a scary cat. She said that during her chest. Like, it's not anything personal. But if Erica wants to take it in a personal way, then I don't know what to say about that. I said, oh, oh, oh. I just love her. 444 is a better four. Okay, that is a reference to one of their challenges this week. I wish I could have put a video in, but basically Airtel made them create a commercial for their product, and Lakon V, Talani, and Nengi were on the same team. They turned it into like an Owambe party scene, and oh my gosh, it was so great. Four meta is a metaphor. That means three fours. It's a play on words, whatever. I don't feel like explaining Yoruba right now. Ebuka asked Prince about like his relationship or situationship, his whatever, with Talani Badge. And he was like, oh yeah, you said that she wasn't your first choice. Prince was like, I never said that to. She's actually the one that used her mouth to say that it was not me. Like, Prince was like, please don't come and implicate me. I was like, Ebuka, leave Prince alone for now, even though I don't like the way Prince treats Talani. Like, Talani actually cried, and I was like, my baby girl, the Talani Badge, is crying on national TV. Could you that for you? It's not gonna be well with men. Please, that's a joke, just in case anybody takes that seriously. He was like, no, we're an item. I said, oh, he claimed her on national TV. But the thing is, Prince never shows his emotion. Prince cried, dude, that Praise is going home. Prince has never once like showed Talani affection publicly. And it's like, actions speak louder than words. the way he relates with everybody else in the house is way different from the way he relates with the person he claims to like. And I would not want to date somebody who likes me and treats me like that. Anyway, who do we think is going home next week? I don't know. Because what Tony and Tricky T are still in the house. Who knows who's going home? I don't know. I'm enjoying this show. Drama's coming. They're probably fighting right now, by the way, because Erica was really shocked that V said that about her. I bet you Erica's like, I wasted my vote on this girl. Me, I voted for V. And she's talking about me like this. But anyway, we shall see. Anyway, I still remain your girl, Ebuka SHATTERED. I'll be bringing you the tea. I'll be bringing you the gist. Hot, hot, hot. Just remember to please subscribe to this channel so you can get the notification of when I upload. Hit the like button for me. It really does help. Comment. I really do answer back, okay? And I just want to wish you a blessed week ahead. Bye now.